My name is Aminata Bab, and I've been a victim of emotional abuse, which affected my self-esteem and confidence. I have dealt with humiliation, judgments, blames, neglect, insults, and generally put down by my entourage. Today, I am the founder and CEO of the Ultimate Confidence Bootcamp, a bootcamp to help young teen girls build up their self-esteem and self-confidence and regain better control of themselves. Welcome all to my podcast called Emotional Abuse Matters. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome all to my podcast called Emotional Abuse Matters. My name is Aminata Ba, and you are tuning into episode 6 called Unexpected Reactions. I am the founder and CEO of the Ultimate Confidence Bootcamp, a freelance model, beauty queen, motivational speaker, and a representative of Mami Kaya products. We all have experienced shocking and unexpected reactions from our entourage, especially when you're announcing a good news and expect everyone to be happy for you. But unfortunately, it is not always the case. Even your loved ones can deceive you. I remember explaining to you guys about my trip in Guinea 2014, how things did not really go well, especially near the end, because I spent about 4 months there, and then I met someone there that I was into, but I was not fully in love. But I just loved how he looked. He was very good looking. He dressed very well. Very polite guy, very religious, and I really loved things about him, and I really wanted to get to know him. He was already falling for me. He already was seeing a marriage with me. Because in the Guinean Muslim culture, when you want to be with a girl, you guys have to already seek engagement. But I really didn't really want to seek engagement, but I had to pretend that we were going to be engaged. So when it started to become serious between me and him, there was a lot of jealousy going around with my cousins there. So there was my cousins in one city and then the cousins in the other cities. When they both started seeing that we were getting serious, and then people in the family started to know about me and him, they started giving very rude remarks about it, and they were mostly pointing me, saying why one cousin said how I was not smart. You're not smart at all. Why would you accept this guy to marry you? If it wasn't your sister, I don't think she would accept this. I was being told how he will actually mistreat you. Once he gets to Canada, he will treat you badly. He will bring all of his goods to Africa, and then he will just leave you, marry a second wife, because polygamy is accepted in the Muslim culture. So for those girls, our marriage was not going to be like the happiest wedding, and everything that the guy would do every single thing that my dad did to my mom, because he was from the same village as my dad, a very close family member. So all of my cousins pointed that, but at the same time, I felt it was jealousy because their reactions was not normal. So it really did hurt me to know that my cousins were against that. And plus, it was not always only them. A lot of other people were against that relationship. Maybe one of the fact is because he was in Africa and I am in Canada. The other reason is because we don't have the same mentality. He grew up in Africa, I grew up in Canada. So my uncle, also one of my uncles, were not very okay with that because of the different mentalities. Other uncles and aunts living in Canada were also not okay because they saying I was too young because I was 19 years old, but they really didn't know inside of me I wasn't really ready for marriage. I was just religiously engaged with him because we have already sent the kolas, which is the cultural first step for engagement. This was already sent to let people know that he was going to be my fiance. But in my head, I was still trying to get to know him. Being young and being rejected in love so many times, you're going to be excited and say, finally, I have someone that I'm into, but you're not actually really, really into. You're still trying to get to know the person. My mom was not totally against the fact that he was with me, but she was like in the middle. She was afraid because she was worried. Of course, it's the mom. She was worried, but she was in the middle because she's saying that she's still someone from the same country as me, so she's not totally against it. Same thing from my dad. So at the beginning, when I came back to Canada after my trip, so after going through all of that jealousy in Guinea, oh my God, it was horrible. What my cousin said to me, it was really painful, especially one of my cousins that really, really hurt me was really, really jealous. She really went off board. She, after saying all the how was not smart, she also put me down. She also, cut my wigs off. She also called me names, saying I spent all of my time talking about her, because she also went through my phone to see the conversations with me and the guy, and she was saying that I was talking about her, and she didn't really understand that I was trying to understand what was going on in the family, and she took it so wrong. For her, I lied on her, but I did not lie on her, and she made a whole big drama because of that. Her mom was also not happy with the wedding, and she has said the same remarks as her daughter, how I was not smart, that my sister is smarter than me, she wouldn't accept it. You're already talking about my sister, she's not even there, and you guys wouldn't even know what her decision would be if she met a guy in Guinea. You do know how it can hurt, like when you go this far, like having a family gathering because your cousin has a fiance, and because you guys are against it, you guys have to have a family gathering for that. Really? I couldn't believe it. It's like I really did something wrong. If you're against, just say, you can say your opinion about, okay, I'm worried about this and this that will happen to you, so be careful, don't go too fast. You can say those little opinions, but why do you have to have a family gathering saying that you're totally against it when you don't want this thing to work? Who are you to judge someone's decisions like that? It's really ridiculous. And yeah, when I was about to leave for Canada, she ripped my wigs. So some of my wigs were all messed up, so I had to go fix them. And then when I went back to the capital, which is Conakry, my cousins there said not to wear those wigs because you don't know where she brought the other piece. She might have brought it to those, I don't know, to do something bad with it. I'm not saying that she did it, but it was a possibility because she was very jealous. And when I came back to Canada, I still had a grudge against her, and I was not happy with what she did. So I messaged her on Facebook saying that she's not a good person and not to ever talk to me. And she didn't respond. The next day, her mom called my mom. And she said, why did your daughter say that my daughter is not a good person? And then I started saying all those things. And my mom said, why you didn't have to go and say that? And my mom was not happy that the fact that I went to say that she's not a good person. She said that how her mom and the daughter, they're very dramatic people, and she does not want to go into drama with those people. I just said how I felt, because she really did too much things to me there in Guinea just because of her jealousy. And my mom said she was not happy that I sent that message, and she did understand that what the other girl did was wrong, but the fact that I sent that message after, when I came back, she was not okay. But it was also hard for me. Yeah. So it was not just his cousin, so many other cousins were against it, saying what the things he will do to me, pointing me that they will, when he gets to Canada, those girls in Canada will steal him from me because he was so good looking. All those things to me, like I was not a good enough for him because of jealousy. Yeah, like I said, I came back to Canada. Some uncles and aunts were not okay. Some friends at school were okay. Like I had a best friend. she was okay with that relationship at the beginning, and then suddenly she started being distant to me. She started putting me down, putting me aside, and I don't know why. Maybe she was going through a lot of things going in her life, because I remember she had a very hard situation going on with her family member that was very sick, and I understand. And then her at school, things were not really going well with her, and suddenly she started being against my relationship. She's like, she was happy for me at the beginning, and then she started saying how, why would you date someone in Africa? Like, really? It's like long distance relationship don't exist. I'm not the only one dating men from Africa or women from Africa. Anywhere you go in the world, you can meet love anywhere in the world. Even Canadian white born date people in Africa and bring them and marry them and bring them here. A lot of women do that, and the marriage ends up working. So it's not like I'm the only person doing that. She started like denigrating me, saying blah blah blah, all of that. And one day when me and the guy, we broke up, she started making fun of me, saying ha ha ha, na 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 na, and then started laughing. And then there was other people around looking at me saying, oh, we told you it wouldn't work, blah 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 blah, without exactly knowing what happened between me and him. And if I can tell you guys what happened between me and him, it was just a little like misunderstanding about projects that he wanted to, future projects that he was planning to do, and I was not okay with that. So he said how he wanted to build a house in Africa, and I was not okay. I was saying that, but you know, you have to think about where you live first. So we're going to live in Canada, we have to buy a house where we are first. He was like, no, we have to think about Africa first. And I was not okay with that. So I ended up the relationship with that. But after I ended the relationship, I started regretting. After a few months, I called him back and I apologized to him. And I said, I'm very sorry. And he's like, okay, he'll think about it. But the think about it was not the real reaction. He was still being distant, and he was showing me that no, this is still not going to work, because he knows I'm going to call him back and say, no, we're done. Because it was a lot of back and forth, and I was not very consistent with my decisions in the past. So he was doubting it, and he did not trust me anymore. And I do understand him. So his sister that lives in the USA, when I talked to her about, before I told him about how I felt, how I don't think between me and him would work out, I talked to her about his future plans, that how we want to build a house in Africa first and not here. And she said, she kind of pushed me away, and then I felt like I was bothering her. I don't know why, but in her voice, like, what, why are you calling me? Like, and I told her, well, this is what happened. He said he wants to build in Africa, and I'm not okay. She's like, okay, but the way she answered, I was like, okay, I was not expecting. For me, she was an older sister, you know. And she's like, well, it's not for me. Like, she has nothing to do with that. I have to speak with him about that. That's between me and him. I'm like, okay, well, that's between me and him. All right, so when the day I called and I said I don't want a relationship with me and him anymore, she actually called me and said hi, and I'm like, why is she calling me? And then she called my mother to tell my mother how I ended up breaking up with him over the phone while he was sick. I didn't even think about the fact that he was actually sick. He was already suffering, and I brought even more pain to him. So she called, just telling everything that I said to him, how things will not work out between me and him, and blah blah blah. And I felt I didn't really understand what was her point of doing that, but she already pushed me away the first time, so I didn't understand why she did that. But anyways, it did not end up working out with me and him. So my advice with all of this is that we all make mistakes, good and bad choices in our life. Just because things don't work out at the end, it doesn't mean that it happened because of people's opinions. People will always talk no matter what. Do not share all your plans and projects with everybody, because not everyone is going to be happy for you. If someone wants to protect you from going the wrong direction, they would not get mad, snap at you, or be judgmental. They are showing their weak side, and it's not your fault. There's a saying that says, When someone points a finger at you, there's 4 that points back at them. If you're truly trying to protect a loved one, sit down with the person and tell them honestly in a good manner. Show proof if you have it. Tell them your past experiences. Nobody is perfect, and you don't always need to prove that you are right all the time. The circumstances of life will show you sooner or later. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was episode 6 of Unexpected Reactions, and I hope to see you on episode 7. Bye-bye.